guys, it's Brittany and welcome back. This week we are talking all about a very special case that has been revived in these last couple of weeks, and that is the case of Alicia Navarro. This is a very special little girl with high functioning autism that has gone missing in the last couple of years. And her mom, Jessica, has continued the crusade and the fight to keep this story at top of mind for everyone and to spread the awareness. So I wanted to join in on that as well. So sit down, grab yourself a glass of wine because we're going to talk about this one. All right, you guys. So as always, I want to briefly thank everyone for always coming back, always watching the content that I put out. I truly appreciate you guys being there and supporting me through me being sick. I am feeling 80%. So much better than the previous couple of weeks, but I want to thank you guys for sticking in there with me and being my ride or dies. Now, if you have not subscribed, make sure you go ahead and subscribe. You don't want to miss any of the content that we have going on here. But let's get into today's video. Today's video is going to be a little bit different of a format. As you can see, beat is already complete. So while there is still makeup going on here, I really wanted to hone in on this case today. So I'm doing more of a wine and true crime video this week, and I hope you guys enjoy it just as much, but I really wanted to make sure we focus on this case because it is a special case. This is all about a little girl named Alicia Navarro, and she is a member of, our minority community, our Black and brown community. So I thought that it was very important to share her story. I recently heard her story on one of my favorite podcasts, Crime Junkie, that I listened to. And it just moved me so much that I felt like I had to share it as well. I know some other people have covered it as well, so y'all might get the same story, but my whole goal is to use my little teeny tiny old platform to help be at least that one extra mouthpiece to spread the word about this case and to help Alicia's mom, Jessica, keep this story alive, keep the search going for her daughter. So that's what we're doing this week. So let's hop into the story of Alicia Navarro. Now, Alicia and her family lived in Glendale, Arizona. She was born on September 20th of 2004, and she was said to be such a kind and sweet little girl. She called herself, a nerd. She was a nerdy introvert is what she liked to say, with braces, and I just love it. Live in all of that glory, honey. Embrace it. But in 2019, Alicia was a 14-year-old girl. And something very special about Alicia was that she was a very high-functioning autistic individual, which I find just in knowing other autistic people, these are some of the smartest people you will come across. But her autism did make some things a little more difficult for her that may not have been an issue or a difficulty for another teenage girl. So for most of her life, Alicia did online schooling. She did some in-person schooling, but it was a bit difficult for her. So her parents understood the assignment, and her mom, Jessica, her stepdad, Ivan, they got pretty much a behavioral coach for her to kind of help her acclimate to social settings and social situations. And it seemed to be working. It seemed to be helping. She started to open up. She was able to be more independent and was learning to do different things on her own. And that was great. That was great for Alicia. That was great for her family as well. And not only did her mom, Jessica, understand the assignment of what it was to be a supportive parent and to get your kids the help that they need when they need it. But she was also very encouraging and wanted her to get out there more and go enjoy friends more, and pushed her to do more social things because she knew that it would be good for Alicia. Now, eventually, Alicia got into Brigade Catholic High School, and this high school was a big step for her going to high school. She was actually going to be going to high school with kids that she had been friends with since yay high. So this was really important for her. These were her A1 day ones, her inner circle that really understood her, really got her. So she was excited to be able to go to high school. And I feel like it probably made it just a little bit easier to be able to go to high school with those friends that she's always had, to help calm the anxiety and the issues that she had with those types of social settings. So Alicia was really excited to be able to go to school with her friends. Now, by this time, she was becoming even more independent. She was getting herself to go to school, getting ready, and she was starting to think about her future and going to college. And it just sounded like her future was so bright. She was not letting some of the difficulties that come from being autistic hinder her in any way. But some other things started to shift too. And as a mom, this story is really hard for me, but I completely understand where Jessica, her mom, was coming from in all of these situations. But things started to shift more so when she got in those teenage years, especially closer to the time where Alicia actually went missing. Tastes started to shift for Miss Alicia. She started asking for more kind of revealing clothing, halter tops, things like that. She wanted to wear makeup now. She wanted to wear body spray now. She was starting to get into like her own appearance and fitness, and she had some friends that kind of talked to her about what they were doing for fitness and to better their bodies, and she wanted those same things. So she was asking her mom for all these things, which was very different for Jessica because she was so used to Alicia with her, sweatshirts and baggy clothes and not really caring about makeup and revealing clothing and things like that. So completely understandable at this age. She's 14, about to be 15 at the time. And Jessica just felt like, well, probably maybe this is just her becoming a teen. She's a girl. You get into these things at some point. Some of us do. So she thought it was just par for the course. Because of the stress that social situations brought Alicia, she also did a lot of things online as well. She made friends online. We later find out that she had told friends that, she has a boyfriend now. She told someone else that she was going to be possibly running away or going to California. Looking back, according to Jessica, some of these changes may have been more so encouraged from online activity and people she was meeting online, or just outside influences in general, because again, it was kind of like an abrupt shift in interest for Alicia. Now, on one specific day, and this was September 13th of 2019, Alicia had asked her mom if she could stay home from school for the day. And of course, her mom totally understood that high school, being in school physically, is still a stressor for her daughter at times, and she understands the anxiety that comes with it. And sis, everybody needs a mental health day. So her mom said, yeah, you can stay home. Don't worry about it. And Alicia was able to kind of just hang out and do what most of us would love to do on a mental health day, and that is absolutely nothing. She kind of hung out in her room, didn't do much throughout the day, and that's just the way it should be. And then that next day, which was a Saturday, they had kind of a girls' day, Alicia and her mom, Jessica. They went and got their eyebrows done. After they got their eyebrows done, they went into a chocolate factory and kind of got some goodies there. And then after they left the chocolate factory, they actually went to McDonald's to get Alicia one of the meals that she always likes to eat, because she is a person of habit because of her sensory issues that she has. And she got herself some chicken nuggets and fries. Now, also, this is the 14th of September. So Alicia's birthday is 6 days away, right around the corner. And this is a big birthday in the Latin community. This is her 15th birthday. So she should be having a quinceañera and celebrating her transition into womanhood. But Alicia didn't want that. She didn't want a big hoopla about her 15th birthday. What she really wanted was some red velvet cake, and she wanted to go somewhere and try steak. That was it. And that was big for Alicia because, again, she had those sensory issues, and those sensory issues only allowed her to eat certain foods, to only smell certain things. All of those types of characteristics and things would affect her. So it was a big step for Alicia to want to try steak. Now, as I mentioned before, because of her social anxiety and the ways that social situations impacted her, she did a lot of things online. She made a lot of friends online. She would chat frequently on a site called Discord, which is a great place, but also a sketchy place at times. And basically, it's a place that you can come together with other people that are like-minded, and you kind of group chat and talk about things like a chat room. But the downside to that is it's not regulated. So as with anything else on the internet, and she also liked to do things like play Minecraft and Roblox, which is another thing that is not as regulated as I would like it to be, because personally I have a daughter who also plays Roblox, and we don't allow her to chat on Roblox. We don't allow her to interact with anybody on Roblox whatsoever because it's not regulated. But at the same time, it's a great place for your technically inclined kids to kind of just relax and play a game. So there's always good and bad with these types of gaming sites and chatting sites. But she was a huge gamer. She was a really good gamer. She knew what she was doing, and she really loved gaming. So she would stay up late. It made her feel good. She would talk with friends. She would game with online friends. And she built these bonds and these friendships with these people that she met through gaming. So her mom knew that she would stay up late quite often to game and hang out virtually with friends. She stayed up really, really, really late that night, about 1 a.m., and she was gaming. Now, her mom, Jessica, was also staying up late because she was waiting for her husband, Ivan, to come home. He worked the late shift, and she was kind of trying to wait up to, hang out with him a little bit before they went to bed. They're both up late. It's about 1 a.m. or so, and Alicia comes downstairs, and of course, Jessica didn't really think anything of it because she's usually up late gaming, which is totally fine for Jessica. And at one point, she kind of asks, like, oh, how late are you going to be up, or something like that. And of course, her mom didn't think anything of it, but she told her kind of, mind your child business, girl. Don't worry about how late I'm going to be up. You just get ready for bed and you don't be up too late, okay? And that was kind of that was the end of the conversation. So eventually, her stepdad, Ivan, came home. Her mom and her stepdad eventually went to bed. But the next morning, Jessica, her mom, woke up at about 7 or so, just getting up early, trying to get the day started, trying to get breakfast going for the family. And she noticed that her back door was open. It was like just slightly open. It didn't look like someone had broke in or anything. There was like nothing strewn about in the house or anything. Just the back door was slightly open. So Jessica went out in the backyard to try to check and see, maybe somebody went out the door. Maybe it was Ivan, her husband, or one of the kids or something like that. But she went out in the backyard just to look around. And at first she didn't really see anything. But when she looked at the back wall of their house, she saw a bunch of chairs stacked up against the back wall. She also saw a bunch of cinder blocks up against that wall as well, and a shovel up against that wall. Now, she mentioned that the chairs looked like they had been stacked so that like someone could climb out of a window and get down safely. So that was a little strange to her. And then when she got closer to the actual chairs and the other stuff that was up against their back wall to their house, she saw footprints. Now, these footprints look like they were Alicia's footprints, the size of her foot. There were no other footprints around, just Alicia's. Now, in that moment, as a parent, I'm panicking. I'm freaking out at this moment. It looks like exactly what Jessica thought took place. My daughter, my young autistic daughter, who has sensory issues, has autoimmune issues, can't really navigate the world on her own as much as she would like to think that she can, has gone somewhere without me. That feeling, I can't even begin to comprehend how Jessica was feeling in that moment. Jessica goes in the house immediately. She goes upstairs into Alicia's room to check and see if Alicia is there. She's not there. And immediately, Jessica calls the police and reports her daughter missing. And police say that they're coming right over. And this is something that I am grateful for, that they understood the gravity of the situation. Because again, this is a person with autism who is out there alone, a young person. And it's just heartbreaking. Now, for Jessica, the police was taking too long to get there because she called a friend over and they instantly start looking for Alicia. They're searching the neighborhood. They're trying to check with the neighbors to see if anybody saw anything, if anybody has any security cameras that could have caught anything. And they really didn't come up with anything. Now, when police get there, they go back into Alicia's room again to see if there's anything that's missing. And they do find some things are gone. Jessica notices that Alicia's cell phone is gone. Her silver MacBook is gone. And she has a little kind of backpack, like a mini backpack, and some clothing is gone. So it looks like her daughter has snuck out of the house via her window and left with some items to get her through whatever time she's going to be gone. But she left her MacBook charger. So to Jessica, it seemed like she planned on being back. And this is exactly what she tells police. She tells police, I think my daughter left on her own free will. And someone had to maybe convince her to leave because she wouldn't have done it on her own, just out of her own thought. She had no reason to run away. She was extremely happy. They had just had a great girls' day. And it just felt like something else had to be at play here. Now, something else that was missing from Alicia's room was actually something that she had requested from her mom a little while earlier. And it was a bit strange of a request because it didn't seem like she was that big into comics, but she had asked for a $200 Iron Man comic book from her mom. And of course, being a mom, you want to give your kids the world. So she got it for her. And she didn't understand why she was asking for it, but you want to make your kids happy. So she got it for her. And that was also missing as well. Obviously, after the police get there, they come in to search and they're, knocking down doors and talking to the community and canvassing the community. But Alicia's family and friends are also doing the same thing. They are going, they're talking, they're asking, they're knocking down doors, they're checking for security footage. They're just trying to get as much information as possible to find Alicia. That Monday after this took place, Alicia's mom goes into her room again just to see if there's something that they missed, if there's something that's missing that they didn't realize. And they do find something, and it's heartbreaking. What they find is a letter that was confirmed by handwriting experts to be written by Alicia. But they find a letter that says, "I ran away. I'll come back. I swear. I'm sorry. Alicia." And when I saw this in the research and I heard this in the podcast, my heart just shattered into pieces because trying to place myself in that situation, walking into my daughter or my son's room, seeing something like that, is just earth shattering. That's the only way that I can explain something like that. But then at the same time, I'm also questioning, how did the police miss this handwritten note in Alicia's room? Were they not looking well enough? Why was it the mom that found it days later after the police had already been there and searched everything? And this is not to say that they did a horrible job. It's just, how do you miss that? But immediately after that, Jessica goes to Arizona's Department of Public Safety, and she basically asks them to issue a silver alert. Now, I don't think silver alerts are in every state, but they have them in Arizona. And what they are is, it's kind of like, you have the Amber Alert for children, and you have all these different alerts depending on the situation. The Silver Alert is basically for anyone that is over the age of 65 or anyone that has cognitive or developmental disabilities. So technically, although Alicia was not over the age of 65, she did have the disability to qualify for a silver alert. She was autistic. She also had autoimmune deficiencies. She also had sensory issues, and she was on medication. But on the other hand, the Department of Public Safety was they were very leery about issuing the silver alert because they had never issued it for a child before. But Jessica was not taking no for an answer. She was not having that. As a mom, I understand you have to flip that switch into mama bear mode to get things done for your kids. And that's what she did. She pushed and she pushed and she demanded that they issue this silver alert. And they did. While the alert is being issued and everything is being circulated within the community and wider spread Arizona, Jessica is still trying to think and come up with anything that could have possibly happened, or any nuggets or pieces of information that she had that maybe didn't make sense before but may make sense now. And she thought about the time back a couple years before in 2017 where she had looked in her daughter's phone and she saw that there was a man from online that had been texting her then 12-year-old daughter, which was extremely inappropriate that an adult man was having any type of contact with a 12-year-old girl. And thank God that Jessica was in touch enough to go through her daughter's phone and check and see what was going on. She reported the text messages to the police. She filed a police report. She took away her daughter's phone, and she basically instilled into her, look, you don't give people from online any personal information. They don't need your phone number. If they're playing a video game with you, that's where it stays, in the video game. They don't need any more information from you. She also told, other important figures in her life, her therapist and things like that, the same thing, so that they could also be active in teaching her things like that, as well as keep your personal. But what this does is, by her remembering this, she starts to feel like somebody could have gotten to her daughter online, convinced her it's okay if you leave for a couple of days, maybe groomed her or befriended her for a number of years to where she really felt like she could trust this person enough to see them in person, because again, she didn't do social situations very well. So she really had to trust this person. And Jessica just feels like someone could have possibly taken advantage of her in that way and convinced her to leave her own home to go hang out with them for a few days. And it just went completely wrong. Her birthday rolls around September 20th. She was supposed to turn the big 15, celebrate her quince, and she never showed up. And as I was researching and watching the footage of her mom still trying to celebrate this little girl's birthday without her being there and handing out red velvet cake to those who are coming to help with the surge or help with any information that she has, it just hurts. It hurts to see. She is such a strong woman. Now, fast forward to about 15 days after Alicia has originally gone missing. Police get a couple of reports of seeing Alicia about 10 minutes away from her home with a man of darker complexion that has tattoos all over his arms, on his hands, and they were holding hands walking. Now, This was one report, but there was a second report from someone else who pretty much corroborated that same sighting and said the same thing. But unfortunately, those leads really never led to any advancement in this case. Now, police also try to check phone activity. They don't see any phone activity. They actually go as far as checking all of the phone activity on a tower near the Nunez home, Alicia's home, and they literally go through the painstaking process of kind of doing a backwards phone check instead of checking a phone and trying to check and seeing where it pings, what towers it pings off to find locations. They basically took a tower that was closest to the home that whoever came and got her or she left with, that phone should have pinged off of it if they had a cell phone. And they worked backwards and they checked every phone that pinged off of it. But it was really hard to decipher who was what. And even if, they found something that made sense, would it be registered to the person that actually came and took her or she actually met? It was just so hard to decipher what's valuable and what wasn't when they went through that whole process. So unfortunately, that really didn't lead to anywhere either. They also checked her gaming, her social media sites, and there was no activity on any of that from Alicia from the moment that she went missing. Now, they also checked cameras throughout the community, CCTV. They tried to get in touch with rideshare services like Uber and Lyft to see if anyone saw her or picked her up that way. And eventually the FBI also got involved with trying to work through her actual desktop computer that she used for gaming and her gaming accounts to see if maybe she had communication there with someone or on the Discord site. But again, they're so unregulated. It's really hard, A, for the government to even get access to any of that stuff. And then B, it's not really saved anywhere. It's not logged. It's not but when you're gaming, you're talking. So those conversations aren't being recorded. So it's just really hard to find any valuable information at any of these sources. Now, the National Database of Exploited and Missing Children also got involved and they plastered Alicia's information everywhere as well. And this case is the most work that I've seen done in a missing case in a very long time. And I'm grateful to be able to say that because in a lot of these missing cases, it's just the police and maybe the FBI get involved, but that's pretty much it. This case was the police, the FBI, the community, National Database for Exploited and Missing Children, the Anti-Predator Project eventually gets involved, community, friends, and family. Everybody is involved. And you don't see that often, especially in our Black and brown community when our little boys and our little girls go missing. So this is a great detail that I am happy to share with you guys. But unfortunately, because this happened so recently, COVID definitely impacted the progress of this case and the search for people. And a lot of that is because everybody's wearing a mask. You can't really see who's who. Everybody's wearing a mask, and it's not weird to be in public with your face covered anymore. It's the new normal. And then it's also scary because Alicia is immunocompromised. So she is a part of the group that is greatest at risk for contracting COVID and having the greatest impact on her health by contracting the virus. So it's just a really scary time for this case to have taken place. Now, in 2020, there was another reported sighting of someone who said they saw her in McCook, Nebraska. And of course, police go and check it out. Even Jessica went and wanted to check it out. And it just led to nowhere. But Jessica never gave up. She's not going to give up. What she did was she started a TikTok. Yes, get smart. That's the other thing. As parents, we need to be in touch with what our kids are doing, what our kids are consuming. And that is a big piece of this case. Jessica did not give up. She wasn't just a sideline parent. She was very involved in knowing what was happening with her daughter, what she was playing, what site she was on, and being in tune with the younger community in general, knowing how to reach these people. So she set up a TikTok. The name of the TikTok page is Find Alicia Navarro, and it is currently at over 250,000 followers. And she has videos that have been viewed over 1 million times. And she's done a great job at using an app like TikTok to reach people that don't watch the news. The younger generation doesn't watch the news. And she's done such a great job spreading the word that way. They also set up a GoFundMe so that they could get funds and they could raise funds to continue to put up things like billboards and holding events to keep the story out there, keep the search alive, keep the word being passed along, and, everybody keeping their eyes peeled for Alicia. And they also started a Facebook page called Finding Alicia. Again, similar to the TikTok, it gives a plethora of information, updates, things to look out for, what she would look like, and her information. And it's just a smart way to approach these types of cases. Now, as I stated before, Jessica also started working with the Anti-Predator Project, which is a pro bono organization who works with families like Jessica and Alicia's to help find these girls, these missing little girls. And their ultimate goal is to stop human trafficking in the US. So they've worked together, they put up billboards themselves, and they've also put out a $20,000 reward for any information that someone may have that is valuable and key to finding the whereabouts of Alicia Navarro. Now, if you do have any information for this case, you can reach out to the Anti-Predator Project at 305-796-4859, or you can reach out directly to the Glendale Police Department at 623-930-3000. In the past, when I've covered missing persons cases and things like that, it's been merely to bring some awareness to the case so that it keeps being talked about. But this is the first time I'm actually sharing contact information because I feel so strongly and I've been so deeply touched by this case. I want to make sure that you guys have the information that you need should you know something, see something, or hear something. Alicia will be turning 17 in 2021 this year. And I hope that her mother finds her, that she comes home, that she's still out there and she's thriving. And I just want the best for this family. This mom, Jessica, you are so strong. You have done everything that I would do, that any good mother would do. As I was researching, there was so much back and forth about, was she doing everything she could have been doing to keep her kids safe? She was. She was in touch with what her daughter was doing. She was monitoring her daughter. There's just some things you can't see. You can't see everything as a parent. You can't see what your child is doing every single second of the day. So every parent deserves some grace, especially one who has a child that's now missing. So please, let's lift up this family. Let's help them in any way we can, support them, give them some love, just lift them up. Because that's what they need right now. They have a missing little girl that's so special to them. It means everything to them to find her. And also, as parents, be that helicopter parent. Be in your kid's business. A lot of parents these days, especially like my generation, the newer parents, they want to be their kids' friends. It's okay to be close to your child, to be friendly with your child, to be friends with your child, but there's still a line. You still have a responsibility to protect your child as a parent. You are the older person. You know what's right and wrong. You know what is good for your child and what's not. So instead of trying to be a best friend, and this is in no way directed to Jessica, because as I just stated, she did the right thing. She was the helicopter parent, but she also allowed her child to live, and that's okay. Be that parent. You don't need to be best friends with your child and not be a parent. We don't want that to fall by the wayside. So be in their business. Check and see who they talking to. Check and see who they're texting. Check and see who they're playing all these video virtual games with. It's important. A lot of parents and adults, they think, oh, it's safer because it's virtual. It's not the real thing. You're not going in person with these people, these strangers that you don't know. It's just through a phone. It's through a computer screen. That's the worst way, sis. That is the way that people feel more comfortable giving information out easily. They feel this false sense of security that even if you're across the world and I give you my address, you're not coming anyway. They will come. And I'm not trying to scare anybody, but we have to be cognizant of those things. We have to understand that there are predators on Roblox. There are predators in these Discord chats. There are people that are very comfortable pretending to be somebody else, hiding behind the mask of a 10-year-old girl or a 7-year-old boy playing Roblox just to get your information, just to get your child, just to get whatever it is that they want from you. So be vigilant with your kids. Be involved with your kids. Look, I am all for being friends with my kids. I want you to feel like I'm your best friend. But I also want you to know that when I say something, I mean it because I'm still your mom. But yeah, guys, I am so happy that I was able to really sit down, give you guys the details. You know I love makeup and I know y'all love makeup too, but I just felt like this story was so compelling that I really wanted to sit down and just talk to y'all about it, give you the details so that the word gets out there, so that we continue spreading awareness about this little girl that's missing. And although this platform, my platform, is just a small, micro, tiny platform, it's still out there. If somebody searches, I'm just another voice that they can hear talk about this case and talk about who you can contact and talk about the things that you need to watch out for as parents as well. The awareness. That's what I hope to bring here. I hope that I am in some way helping Jessica to keep the story alive, to spread the word. And I'm also hoping that this in some way, when she hears this, it uplifts her because she did the right thing. She's still doing the right thing. She's still pounding the pavement looking for her child, and she will never give up. And that's the way it should be. So prayers for you, Jessica. Kudos to you for being such a strong woman. This story has touched me so deeply. It literally brought me to tears as I was listening to the story for the first time, learning about the story, researching the story, seeing all the images, and seeing how strong a mom has to be to keep this going. I felt so compelled to share this story. So I do plan on continuing to share more stories like this of especially people in our Black and brown communities and our minority communities, and anyone really who is missing, and that story needs to continue and the awareness needs to continue. I do plan on sharing more of those types of stories to get that out there and to use just one more platform to spread the word. I really hope that you guys enjoyed today's story. Comment down below your thoughts. Show a little love to this family because they need it. They need a little light. Until next time, you guys, it's been real. I love you guys. Bye.